So the stats just came out for the month of June, and things are not looking all that great. In fact, right now it is the second slowest month we've had this year, second only to January, which should be slow because of the winter season. But I did ask a question about 2-3 weeks ago, and I asked like which region would have the biggest price drop in the month of June when you compare it to the peak of the market. And a lot of you guys said it would be Durham, followed by Peel. So let's see if you guys were right. So this is for detached homes only. So this is detached average prices. Which region had the biggest price drop? It was not Durham. It was not even Peel. In fact, it was York, which was also a surprise to me because personally I thought it would be Peel. But York had the biggest price drop, and they dropped $384,000 for detached homes since February. They were like almost hitting the $2 million mark. Toronto was also down like $336,000. Basically, every single market is down over $300,000 for detached homes when you compare to the peak of the market. So something to keep in mind if you guys are thinking of buying a place, like buying a detached house. These numbers look in your favor if you're a buyer, not if you're a seller, unfortunately, if you're on the selling side. Now, I will be covering average prices in a bit. Now, let's look at number of sales. Like I said before at the beginning, June right now is the second slowest month of the year because May was already slow. Like if you compare it to the peak of the market, like May was already slower than February. That was not really a big surprise. Right now, June stands to be the second slowest month of the year. So if this is the trend, if it keeps going like this, it's a strong possibility July will be even slower than June because there's another rate hike coming up. Now let's get back to prices. If you guys want to look at prices for freehold townhouses, which region had the biggest price drop? For freehold townhouses, it was Peel. Peel dropped $245,000 in only a matter of months. If you compare it to the peak of the market, they were almost at $1.2 million. And now they're down to like $950,000, which is still high, but they're down $245,000. And if you look at the York region, they're down $216,000. Now, if everything except Toronto, they're down over $200,000. So something to keep in mind if you guys are trying to sell your freehold townhouse, you are more than likely not going to be getting like these prices, not anywhere close to it. This is kind of what you should target if you guys are thinking of selling your freehold townhouse. Now let's look at condos, see how the condo market is doing. Which region had the biggest price drop compared to February? Again, it was York. York dropped $132,000 since February. This is condo average prices. And which one had the least? I would say Durham. Durham only dropped $18,000. And Peel is down about $78,000. Now keep in mind, this is for the whole region. Like I know like some agent's gonna call me like, hey, I just sold a condo in downtown Toronto and I sold it like $20,000 over asking, what are you guys talking about? You know, why are you saying it's down $50,000? This is every single region of Toronto. Like downtown Toronto is not the only part of Toronto. Like it covers everything, right? So I will be posting more detailed videos on individual cities, and that will give you a better idea like specifically what's going on. But this is just a very basic overview of the market. Now, we're not done yet. We're not anywhere close. We're actually just getting started. But if you guys enjoy this kind of boring stats, please like and subscribe because it does take me a lot of time to put this stuff together. But as long as I know there's a demand for it, I will keep posting this kind of stuff. I know it is bad news. So what I also want to do was I also want to compare June of this year to June of last year, because unfortunately what I still see some agents doing, they will say, well, yeah, you're a bit of a slump right now, but compared to June of last year, things are still great, so things are still selling. They try to kind of just spin the stats in a positive way, but so I want to compare to June of last year as well. If you compare number of sales, look at how many listings sold last June. And if you compare it to this June, every single market's down again. A lot of markets are down almost half. Like York and Peel are down 50% almost. And Toronto is down 37%. So please be careful if somebody, when you're talking to agents, about selling your house. I mean, you should be talking to me. I'm an agent. But anyways, I'm joking aside. When you're talking to agents, please be careful because maybe just screenshot this kind of stuff, because these are not my stats. This is straight from the Toronto Real Estate Board. But their numbers, whatever they're presenting you when you're talking to them, should be very close to these numbers, because this is straight from the source. Like this. Now let's look at price drops. So this is what's currently on the market right now. So if you are a buyer, this is what you have to choose from. If you are a seller, this is technically your competition. So in the region of Peel right now, approximately 3,100 listings for sale. This is freeholds and condos included. And out of those, 538 of them had to drop their price because they were not getting the price they wanted. So they're trying to adapt to the new market. And out of the 3,100, over 2,000 of them have been on the market for longer than 2 weeks. So also something to keep in mind, if you're a buyer, what does this mean? It means that you have some time now to take a look at a listing, go home, think about it, talk to your bank. You know, like you don't need to panic. Like you don't need to go the first day it comes up and here's $100,000 extra, take my money and I want the house. What this means is things are sitting on the market a little bit longer, which means you do not have to panic and, you know, just offer crazy prices. What does this mean for sellers? This is also important because things are not flying off the shelf anymore. So if you guys are, you know, like planning on buying a house, maybe try to sell yours first, because there's no guarantee that you're going to be able to get the price you're hoping for, and how long it's going to take to sell the place, right? Because the last thing you want is you find your dream house, but you can't buy that house because you haven't sold this house. So important stats, I feel. Maybe you think otherwise, but I think it's important. Now let's look at how many listings got canceled in the month of June. In February, this is the whole region, like Halton, Peel, Toronto, York, Durham. I have to keep saying this because I know some agents are going to get mad at me and they'll be like, well, what are you talking about? I sold my listing in 3 days last week. Why are you saying the market's slow? I have to keep saying that this is the whole region. Like Halton includes like Milton, Burlington, all that kind of stuff, like Oakville. Toronto includes like everything. Like it's a huge, like, Toronto has like 500 different markets. So there will always be markets within each city, within each region that never go out of demand. I have to put this disclosure because I get angry calls, from agents like, hey, why are you giving bad news? Like, I sold my listing. We had 2 offers on the place. So don't shoot the messenger, please. I don't know why agents get mad at me. I'm just reporting the stats. That's all I'm doing. This is straight from the Toronto Real Estate Board. I don't doubt some listings are still selling over asking. This is just for the whole region. Anyways, this is how many listings got canceled in the month of June. Now, why do I bring this up? I bring it up because the last thing you want if you're trying to sell your house is you end up on this list, because it's not fun. It takes a lot of prep work to, get the house ready for sale. Like you can't be cooking at certain times. You have to declutter, you have to renovate, you have to stage. And it's also bad for the agent because he's spending money to market the place. So it's not bad. It's not good when the listing gets canceled for either party. So discuss that. Discuss the possibility. Like, what are my chances of selling in this market when you're talking to your agent? Or what are my chances I'm going to have to cancel and relist, or just cancel and not sell at all? Like, what's going on? Like, what are the numbers? Because when in doubt, always follow the stats. I'm not even saying you listen to me. This is my numbers. So this is just to help you guys out. We're not done yet. We are, I would say, almost done, but we're not done. Now let's look at sales to new listings ratio. Now they say that what I did was I compared February to the month of June. How many listings are coming up? How many listings are selling? And the ratio between them, if it's between 40 to 60%, that means we're in a balanced market. If it's over 60%, we are in a seller's market. And if it's under 40%, we are in a buyer's market. Now let's look at February. So this is a straight screenshot from the Toronto Real Estate Board. So let's look at Halton. Halton was at 78% for SNLR in the month of February. Peel was at about 74. Toronto was at 67. And York was at 70. And Durham was at 80%. Now let's look at how they've changed when it comes to June. So this is for the month of June. This is all home types. Halton went from 78 to 64%. So that's a big drop. Peel is at 62. Toronto is at 61. York is at 60. And Durham is at 66. So you can see which way the market is heading. Now, if you follow the guidelines, technically we are in a seller's market, but practically when you are out in the field, like showing houses and seeing listings drop prices and cancel listings, I don't think we're in a seller's market at all. We are in a buyer's market, if anything, may at the most in a balanced market, but more than likely I feel a lot of regions, like I said before, there's going to be always some neighborhoods that are always in demand, but if you exclude those, we are, I would say, in a buyer's market. Now, let's look at how many listings are selling over asking price. This is what percentage of listings were selling over asking price. So this is what percentage of listings were selling over asking, and in the month of February. Okay, Durham was at 93%. So basically anything that went up, almost guaranteed you're selling over asking. Now they've dropped to like 20%, 28%, 34%. So this is good news for the buyer. That means you're not going to be like panicking and competing with 30 offers. Now I will be covering more detailed stats on these cities and in the coming days. So keep an eye out for those. And if you guys need any help, if I haven't depressed you guys enough, realtorvic.ca is where you can find me if you need to buy or sell. Thanks. See ya.